For most of my life, I worked on the family farm. I believed one day I would inherit part of it. Instead, everything changed after one family meeting. A meeting I never saw coming. My father and brother had already made their decision. The farm would stay under Michael's control. There was no place left for me, and no backup plan. Within weeks, I packed everything I owned, tools, clothes, and a few $1,000s in savings. I spent months looking for affordable land. Most properties were far beyond my budget. Then I found something unusual. A neglected pasture nobody wanted. The property looked terrible. Tall weeds covered everything. Old fencing leaned in every direction. Most people considered it worthless. At a county auction, almost nobody showed interest. The land had been ignored for years. People laughed when I considered buying it. I noticed something they missed. The final price shocked everyone, $35. That was enough to make the purchase and begin a completely new life. The first month was brutal. Every day started before sunrise and ended after dark. Progress came one small step at a time. Next came the fences, hundreds of repairs, countless hours of work. But the property slowly improved. By the end of the second month, the change was visible. The weeds were disappearing. The land looked healthier, and people started paying attention. By the third month, the pasture looked completely different. The weeds were finally under control. Healthy grass began replacing the neglected growth. For the first time, I could see the land's potential. I invested every spare dollar into improving the soil. Most people saw dirt. I saw opportunity. The better the soil became, the more valuable the property would be. Neighbors started slowing down when they drove past. The same people who once laughed now watched closely. The transformation was becoming impossible to ignore, and word spread quickly. Next came the water improvements. Old systems were repaired. New equipment was installed. The pasture was becoming productive again. By month 4, the property no longer looked abandoned. The fences stood straight. The fields looked healthy. And buyers began asking questions. My brother eventually heard the rumors. People couldn't stop talking about the pasture. What started as a joke was becoming a success story. And Michael didn't like hearing it. Even my father started hearing updates. Neighbors mentioned the improvements. Friends praised the progress. For the first time, he seemed curious. Then an unexpected opportunity appeared. A livestock operator needed grazing land. He liked what he saw, and he offered a partnership. Within weeks, livestock arrived. The pasture finally generated income. The land was working for me, exactly as I had planned. The number surprised even me. Revenue increased every month. Expenses continued dropping, and the project was becoming profitable. People who once doubted me now asked for advice. Some wanted to know how I transformed the land. Others wanted to buy it, but I wasn't interested in selling. An appraiser eventually visited the property. His estimate shocked everyone. The land was now worth far more than I paid, and its value kept rising. When Michael heard the appraisal numbers, his attitude changed. The laughter disappeared. The joke stopped, and concern took their place. 9 months after I bought the property, my father finally visited. He stepped out his truck and stood silently looking across the fields. The change was impossible to deny. My father slowly shook his head. He remembered the weed-covered field I had purchased. Now he was looking at productive farmland, and he realized how wrong they had been. A week after my father's visit, the final appraisal arrived. The report confirmed what everyone could already see. The neglected pasture had become valuable farmland, and its worth had increased dramatically. I stared at the numbers for several minutes. It was hard to believe. 9 months earlier, I had bought the land for $35. Now it was worth thousands of times more. Michael eventually visited the property himself. He walked along the fences quietly. The transformation spoke for itself, and there was nothing left to criticize. My father apologized for doubting me. He admitted he never expected the project to succeed. I appreciated his honesty, and we finally started rebuilding our relationship. Soon, local newspapers shared the story. People loved the transformation. The pasture became an example of hard work and patience, and the attention kept growing. The land that everyone ignored now supported a thriving operation. Healthy grass covered the fields. The livestock partnership continued expanding, and the future looked brighter than ever. Being forced out of my family's farm felt like the end, but it became the beginning of something far better. The pasture nobody wanted changed my life, and proved that opportunity often hides where others refuse to look.